Well, you know, listen, if you don't have anything to say, you blab. You just go on and 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 on.
Voters do not agree with these despicable women on The View. They are wildly out of touch with the vast majority of Americans, and frankly, they should seek immediate.
When there's nothing meaningful to say, they just ramble on endlessly. It's a constant stream of words with no real substance. The voters don't support the women on asterisk, The View asterisk. They're out of touch with the majority of Americans. They should get their insights from IM Media. Whoopi Goldberg ruled over the show for years, sitting at the top like royalty. She'd cut off guests, bulldoze opposing views, and present her opinions as undeniable truths. But in one shocking moment, her tight control over daytime TV crumbled, and it was all thanks to Karoline Leavitt. No one saw it coming. The episode started like any other. Smug laughs, eye rolls, and a panel nodding along to the show's predictable left-wing agenda.
It's probably been put in there because, according to Donald Trump, she's a 10. You know that's what it is.
I want to be clear, though. It's not her first job. It was her first press briefing. She worked in the previous Trump administration.
Whoopi, as confident as ever, settled back, ready to take control of the conversation. Then the topic of wokeness came up, a concept asterisk The View asterisk practically worships. Feeling invincible, Whoopi took the first shot, her trademark smirk appearing as she pointed at Karoline and boldly declared, "Without wokeness, you wouldn't even have this job." In an instant, the entire room's energy shifted. The audience tensed, and even Joy Behar, who's made a career out of mocking conservatives, shifted uncomfortably in her chair. The once dominating vibe of the show suddenly unraveled, and the tension was palpable.
I'm going to stop this interview if you continue to attack my colleagues. I would like to talk about Joe Biden and Donald Trump, who you work for.
I am stating facts that your colleagues have stated in the past.
Okay,
now, as
I'm
for
sorry,
this
guys.
debate,
We're going to come back out to the panel. Karoline, thank you very much for your time.
That was so good.
What Whoopi says next is exactly what you'd expect, predictable and irritating. After all these years as a host, you'd think she'd bring more creativity to her banter. But nope, here we are again, waiting to see what she's got this time.
Afterwards, this young lady claimed her, quote, on-air snub proves that you-know-who will not be treated fairly in the upcoming debate. Now, do you think this is going to make people doubt whether CNN can stay objective, or is this more the same of, everybody's against me, it's all rigged, I tell you. Is everything rigged?
No, it's their MO. That's what they do. Rachel Maddow said last week, she's like, if the election is lost, it was rigged. If there's a debate, then the moderators are probably biased and they're prejudiced against me.
The atmosphere was thick with tension as everyone braced themselves for what was coming next. Whoopi wasn't ready for the response she was about to get. This wasn't just a simple disagreement or playful banter. It was a direct hit on Karoline Leavitt's entire career, intelligence, and work ethic. Whoopi dismissed everything Karoline had worked for as just a byproduct of the very ideology she opposed. It was condescending, dismissive, and designed to belittle her completely. Despite the obvious insult, the audience clapped mindlessly, some even chuckling. But there was an underlying tension in the air, a subtle unease that hinted they knew Whoopi had crossed a line, though they weren't sure if they should acknowledge it. But Karoline? She didn't flinch. She didn't stumble, scramble for a comeback, or rush to defend herself. Instead, she did something far more powerful. She smiled. It was slow, knowing, a smile that said, "Asterisk, you just made a big mistake, asterisk." It wasn't cocky or overconfident. It was the smile of someone who knew they had the facts, the evidence, and the composure to completely flip the situation. And with a calmness so unshakable it was almost unnerving, she did just that. What happened next was something the audience had never seen before. Karoline didn't get defensive, she got factual. She laid down hard truths, cold, undeniable numbers that couldn't be dismissed with a sarcastic remark or a wave of the hand. She meticulously detailed government spending reports, showing how taxpayer dollars were being funneled into absurdly woke programs. gender studies in Guatemala, Sesame Street adaptations designed to export American social activism globally, and countless other eyebrow-raising initiatives. Each example raised more questions than answers. With surgical precision, Karoline connected the dots, revealing how wokeness had evolved from a social movement into a political weapon, one that was being wielded to silence, control, and punish anyone who dared to challenge it. Whoopi wasn't laughing anymore. The room fell silent as the power of facts began to sink in.
Divisive and disgusting speech that any president, certainly in my lifetime, has ever given. He essentially waged war on half of the country by saying that we are all a threat to democracy because we believe in putting America first. It's not radical to want to put your country and your own people first. It's not radical to want to have a strong border, a strong military, and to unleash the might of your own economy, not economies around the world.
She's incredibly articulate, isn't she? It's baffling that the hosts on The View chose to mock her instead of supporting another woman. It really exposes their underlying agenda. Let's see how this unfolds. I'm sure Karoline's about to drop more undeniable truths that will be impossible for them to ignore.
You know, we have seen cultural Marxism trickling its way through every institution in this country. The public school system, the higher education university system, Hollywood, big tech, the corrupt mainstream media that I fought against in President Trump's White House are indoctrinating my generation of Americans into hating our country, hating one another based on race and gender and all of this other BS, quite frankly.
The woman who had built her career on dominating conversations, shutting down conservative voices, and bulldozing through uncomfortable topics was suddenly on the defensive. Whoopi shifted uncomfortably in her seat, her usual smirk gone, hands moving as if trying to find something to hold on to. She was used to guests fumbling their words, struggling to keep up with her quick-fire comebacks. But this time, the tables were turned. No matter how much she wanted to clap back and steer the conversation back to her favor, she couldn't. Karoline wasn't giving her the chance. In that moment, for the first time in ages, it was clear to everyone watching that Whoopi Goldberg had backed herself into a corner, and there was no easy way out. She opened her mouth, then shut it. Opened it again, still nothing. The words just wouldn't come. The audience, usually so quick to back her up with cheers, sat frozen in uncomfortable silence. Even the most loyal fans of The View didn't know how to react. The energy in the room had shifted, and for once, no one knew whether to laugh, clap, or just wait for Whoopi to say something, anything, to regain control. Even the camera crew hesitated. Should they zoom in on Whoopi's stunned expression, capturing the moment she realized she had trapped herself, or cut to commercial and hope the viewers wouldn't notice? Whoopi, usually so quick with a snide remark or a dismissive gesture, sat stiffly in her chair, clearly wishing she could disappear into it. She had walked straight into a trap, and there was no easy way out. And here's the real question Karoline had exposed. If wokeness is truly about diversity and inclusion, then why are conservative women the ones being attacked? Why is it that those who preach tolerance turn vicious when confronted with someone who doesn't fall in line with their ideology? In that moment, Whoopi Goldberg realized she had no comeback, no sharp retort, no witty remark to turn the situation around. The silence dragged on, and everyone felt it. Desperate to recover, Joy Behar jumped in, trying to force out a nervous joke in a last-ditch attempt to break the tension. But the damage had already been done. Whoopi had done something that even she had never done before. She had completely unraveled on live television.
You know, listen. If you don't have anything to say, you blab. You just go on and 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 on. Right. That's what you hear. Yeah. When they don't have anything to hold you with, nothing to make you think about what they have to say.
It's hard to watch, right? Her arguments come off as childish and dismissive, especially when faced with facts she can't easily rebut. It makes you wonder how someone like her continues to hold such a strong voice and following. It's frustrating to see someone who so clearly lacks substance still maintaining a platform. Maybe it's because she's been ingrained in daytime TV culture for so long, but at this point, you'd think she'd have been replaced by someone capable of bringing more thoughtful, meaningful discussion to the table. It's truly baffling.
You not to you, and that's what she was doing, and she was doing it And it's not new.
No.
But everybody's hip to you all now.
Yeah.
And we are anticipating that you are not prepared. Because you keep saying you going and you preparing when you're on the trail.
And the internet? Oh, the internet absolutely went wild. Memes, reaction clips, endless commentary flooded social media within minutes. Whoopi's stunned reaction was replayed on a loop, shared across platforms like wildfire. But here's where it gets even more insane. This wasn't the first time Whoopi had found herself in hot water for running her mouth. Over the years, she's turned The View into a lawsuit factory, dragging ABC from one controversy to the next. From tone-deaf comments about the Holocaust to her bizarre defenses of questionable figures, Whoopi's been at the center of some of the show's most scandalous moments. But nothing hit ABC harder than the recent wave of defamation lawsuits. First, it was Carrie Underwood, then Elon Musk, and now Karoline Leavitt, each lawsuit piling up one after another, making it harder for ABC to ignore the costs of Whoopi's unchecked commentary. And the worst part? This time, Whoopi couldn't blame anyone else. There was no one to throw under the bus. Let's talk about Carrie Underwood. When Carrie performed at Trump's second swearing-in ceremony, Whoopi and her co-hosts didn't just criticize her performance. They went full-on savage. They mocked her mercilessly, claiming she'd ruined her career and even suggesting she was now aligned with hate. The whole segment was a character assassination. They expected Carrie to just sit back and take it. But Carrie did something no one saw coming. Instead of issuing a vague statement or a tweet, she filed a billion-dollar defamation lawsuit against The View. When that case made it to court, something explosive surfaced, something even Whoopi wasn't ready for.